Alright, good evening, and we will try this again for the second time. Hopefully this time is much better. I don't know what was going wrong with the stream there. But we are here tonight to talk about the top 5 coins we have picked. Slightly higher risk than your Solanas or XRP or something like that. These are not necessarily smaller market cap, but for me they are a bit more risky, a bit more untested. Most of them, bar one, have never been through a bull run. So I think that is why they justify themselves as higher risk. On top of that, we've obviously seen no real alt season yet. So at this point, any altcoin really outside the top 10, I would say is probably pretty risky. But if we look on the chart, we can see the others chart, which is the crypto market minus the top 10, has barely expanded. If anything, we're just kind of in this crab sideways, slightly up. I think the others chart is going to go way beyond $1 trillion in the next bull run. Let's say, I don't want to put a time frame on it just because this market and this cycle seems to have expanded way beyond anyone's expectations. But I do think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see altcoins at crazy all-time highs. I think people are underestimating the altcoin market. They're underestimating the amount of liquidity coming into the cycle. And I do think we're going to see the crypto market at higher prices than anyone is giving credit to the altcoin market. And if we look back, we can see, if we go to here on the chart, if we want, December 2020, the altcoin market was just 37 billion. It then peaked at almost 500 billion. So more than a 10x, probably about a 15x in market cap. I don't see why we don't do something like maybe like a 10x from here, maybe less, maybe 5x. But that's going to be enough liquidity to pump these altcoins to new all-time highs. Let's see who's all in. Let's see if everybody rejoined. The one good thing is it got rid of all the questions that I'm not going to answer anyway from the last stream. We're going to cover the 5 coins. We're going to cover the altcoin market. And that's pretty much it for tonight. If you've got any other questions, you can drop them in CC Pro and we'll get to them. Or you can tune in to one of our other live streams that we've been doing. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like quite a lot of people have rejoined. So we will crack on. Cash crypto is dead. Yeah, screenshot that and show you in a few months. Well, for me, we are going to see a massive move in crypto in the next couple of months. We've got liquidity, we've got the TGA account, we've got the shutdown being resolved, and of course we've got ETFs. On top of that, it does feel like everything is completely coordinated. It feels like we are susceptible to massive manipulation, but I do think that manipulation is going to die out the market when regulation gets passed, because a lot of the manipulation that's happening in wash trading and things like that is caused by the lack of regulation, the lack of the Clarity Act, which is going to get approved in the next few months. So let's dive in. So what we've done is with these 5 coins is we've picked 5. I mean, we're going to call them high risk, but what we mean by that is there's high upside for them. There's no time limit on when we think we can see these gains, but they're more risky than buying XRP, buying Solana, but they do provide substantial upside potential for me. We've also been in touch with most of the teams, so we know they've got big updates coming. We know they've got improvements coming that are going to benefit the token price, and there's big news dropping on, I think, every single one of the projects over the next few months, if it's not recently dropped. So for that, we're pretty confident in our assessment that they are high risk, high reward. I think if you go outside the top probably 20 altcoins, you could probably call most things high risk. So yeah, I think it does make sense to call them high risk, high reward. Let me just see if I can mute you. Yeah, there we go. We'll just put cash in timeout for 24 hours. Give everybody some peace. There we go. Right. Cash is in a timeout, so we can all enjoy this stream. Let's talk about some of the themes. So a big theme that I think is going to be massive in the next bull run is going to be AI. So there is a bit of an AI theme throughout most of the tokens. In terms of upside potential, like I said on the previous stream, but if you've not tuned in before it cut off, we are going to put 5k into each of these coins, and the goal is to try and turn that 5k into 500k. That means it's a 20x. 25k to 500k is a 20x. We're not putting a time frame on it, but I am pretty confident that we can achieve that goal over, let's just say, the next 6 to 12 months, depending on how the market treats us in that time. We're going to update CC Pro members regularly on it. We'll cover it on streams as well. And if anyone wants to follow along, I'll show you exactly where to buy all the coins and how to buy them tonight. I do think we are on the brink of a bottom for the market. If we look at Bitcoin, it's up above 104k. I think we need to see a close above 108k before we can get excited. But if you look across the market, I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity to buy before Christmas these altcoins. So, yeah, you might want to disappoint some people and buy some crypto instead of Christmas presents this year. I think it could be some of the best buys you will make. Bitcoin dominance is currently up around 60%. It put in quite a nice high this week. I think that's going to roll over. If it does look like a bearish weekly close, if that rolls over, we could see some instant gains in this portfolio. But without further ado, let's jump into the first token. And the first token for me is Virtuals Protocol. So a lot of people might not know what Virtuals is, or a lot of people will know what Virtuals is. Virtuals blew up in the kind of AI boom about a year ago, maybe less than that. Virtuals allows people to create their own AI agent, and with it comes a token. Now, it's a relatively high market cap right now, so some people might think the upside's not that huge. For me, I think it's massive, and the reason I think it's massive is because of the AI narrative. What Virtuals allows you to do is create your own AI agent, and that token then can trade for you. It can do all sorts. It can bring you information, it can trade, it can provide loads of different functions, some of which we'll get into in a second. But as you see, some of the altcoins or some of the AI agent coins created on the Virtuals platform are trading in like 8 million market cap, 3 million market cap. This one's at a 40 million market cap. As AI agents, robotics, the AI narrative continues to kick off, I believe Virtuals is going to be the #1 AI agent platform. And because it charges fees for every single time somebody creates one of these AI agent coins, it's got a constant revenue model, which means the token performance should be strong long term. If we look back at the chart, we can also see that it's not dumped as much as other tokens. I would ignore this period here because, to be honest, this was when it was never heard of. It's trading at 140 just now. It peaked in the AI boom back in January around 470. I think it will go above $10 in the coming bull run. And the biggest thing for that is I think people aren't putting two and two together right now. I don't believe people are connecting the dots between AI and crypto. And the other advantage I've seen from the AI agents, for example, is Virtuals has now created AI agents that can actually transact on your behalf. So they have now launched what's called Agent Commerce Protocol. So you can actually create an AI agent that can do your shopping, it can buy your shopping, it can order it for you, and it all works for you in the background without you having to intervene. This creates a AI agent economy. AI agents then interact with other AI agents, and Virtuals is at the center of it, and I don't see anyone that's coming close to competing with Virtuals. On the top of that, the X402 narrative, which, if anyone's been paying attention, is the payment layer of the internet. It's massive right now. The AI agent and the X402 protocol, again, it's all centered around virtuals. They've also launched what's called the Butler function, which basically just acts like a dashboard across any of your social media, and it can feed you information, it can go and search for things, it can post for you, it can do research for you. And I just think, for me, I think the AI narrative is going to be massive. We've saw AI companies in the States spending about 1.5 trillion on AI infrastructure over the next few years. Crypto is a natural home for that spend. And like I say on every stream, AI, robotics, everything is going to work on a blockchain. They're not going to transact in fiat, they're going to transact in crypto. And once people start understanding that they can create their own AI agent, they can make them for themselves, they can make it do different tasks like answer emails, answer DMs, actually prospect for a business. You can train an AI agent to go and find 100 businesses that you want to communicate with and then cold call them, cold email them. You can create an AI agent to do pretty much anything, but the Virtuals Launchpad is the best place to do it, and the volume it is doing is insane. I think Luna was one of the first agents, and I also think there's a bit of a dark side to the AI agent world, where I think people are going to start creating real personalities using AI, and they'll be able to talk to people, they'll be able to keep them company, they'll be able to game with them, they'll be able to compete with them in certain things. I saw one person talking about creating AI agents to create their own virtual poker tournament. It's a bit dark and it might sound a bit sad, but unfortunately that's the world we're moving into, and I think Virtuals is a great way of having exposure to that market without trying to pick one of these coins that's going to do well, because to me that's just going to be very difficult to pick one. I mean, this one here is 47 million market cap. Let's see what this one does. So Game, it's trading at a $41 million market cap. It's got $9 million in liquidity. And what does it actually do? Let's see what this one actually does. So it powers 30% of the top AI agents on Virtuals. Game enables AI agents to transact, trade, and generate revenue. So this thing can actually earn an income while it's out. While you're doing whatever you're doing, this can go away and earn money, transact, buy things, sell things. And it's trading at a $40-odd million market cap. So for me, the first pick is Virtuals. I think Virtuals protocol is going to be huge. I think it's the access layer to AI, and I think 461 it did in January when the altcoin market wasn't amazing. It was sporadic. I think this will come back in a big way. Already listed on Binance, KuCoin, BitGet, OKX, Bybit. So it's pretty much everywhere. And the other benefit is they've already unlocked 100% of the supply. So we won't see any big unlocks that are going to dump price in the coming months. So Virtuals is the top 5 high-risk coins. If you want any more information, we can do a project update in CC Pro. But everything is on CoinMarketCap. And that is Virtuals. Alright, next up is a coin everybody will be familiar with. It's Xborg. So Xborg, I wasn't sure to include Xborg because we speak about Xborg a lot on the channel, but one of the reasons I picked Xborg is because they are making a bit of a pivot, and one, I think it's going to be bullish for the price of the token. Two, I think the team are a great team. They're always active. They always communicate with their community. They're associated with Swissborg, which I think will do really well, as you all know. But on top of that, Xborg have some massive things coming up over the next 3 to 6 months. And I think price could easily do a 10x in that period. And that would just set up the portfolio really nicely for that 20x that we're trying to achieve. On top of that, Xborg have initiated some buybacks, so slightly different from the Swissborg buybacks. The Xborg buybacks is they're actually using their own revenue to just buy back the token. So rather than distribute it to token holders, what they're doing is they are buying the supply off the market at the market price. So as you can see, Xborg has bought 1.4 million XBG for 129,000 at 0.0886 per token. So they now hold a big chunky supply. Now for me, this is hugely bullish. Now, speaking to the team, obviously we're quite in close contact with the Xborg team, Connor and Louis. Xborg have also pivoted to a new AI product. So for anyone that doesn't know what Xborg is, it is basically for esports teams. It's a fan base where communities can coordinate around esports. They've got big brands, they've got big sports teams. They're partnered with Team Liquid, they're partnered with Evil Geniuses, which is another esports team. But the biggest thing they've done recently is the pivot to AI means that they're now going to have what's called Fanbase Copilot. Now, Fanbase Copilot basically allows people to post on social media, monitor social media, and basically just drive customer and consumer engagement across social media. Now, the benefit of this is they'll acquire more users, they'll keep people more entertained, and basically they'll just capture more audience. The other big thing for me is they have a Hyperliquid spot listing coming in the next 60 days. Hyperliquid, for anyone that's been buried under sand, won't have noticed that Hyperliquid is amazing for token volume. Not necessarily token price, but token volume. But it also exposes you to another community and it drives volume through the token. The more volume through the token means more revenue for Xborg, which means more buybacks of their token. Right now, they plan to buy between $1 and $1.5 million worth of XBG from the open market in the next 90 days. So that alone should be bullish for price. Then they've also got the Fanbase Copilot, which launches in January. And this is all before any gaming narrative in crypto. So if we look at CoinMarketCap, we can actually show the categories. And if you look at gaming, we can see the gaming market cap is currently trading around $12.5 billion. $12.5 billion, but it peaked at over $50 billion back in 2021. Ignore this spike, this is a CoinMarketCap glitch. So in February 2021, the gaming sector of crypto peaked at over $50 billion. For me, I think it will easily eclipse that in this bull run. But even if it didn't, that's a 5x from where we are right now. I think Xborg would do very well in that space. And I also think that because they're associated with Swissborg and the Borg token, Xborg is going to do well just as kind of an additional risk play. I also think the fact that the token price is down so low right now, we're down at 8 cents. It peaked at 40 cents back in December. So again, you're talking a 5x from here just to get back to the December prices. Obviously, if anyone remembers, we were the December highs, the December kind of alt season was literally 3 or 4 weeks worth, and we never really had new liquidity or fresh liquidity come out in the market. So I think we'll easily eclipse that. I've said before, I think Xborg can do $1 per token. That would be a 10x from here, slightly more. So again, that sets us up for a really nice portfolio. We've got virtuals, we've got Xborg, and with Xborg buying their own token, it seems like a no-brainer. It's pretty much, you know, nothing's guaranteed, but $1 million minimum of buy pressure coming to the token over the next 90 days. Hyperliquid listing, plus you've got their new product launch in January. Seems like a no-brainer to include Xborg. I'm so bullish on Xborg long term. And the fact that the team are always active, always looking for the latest narrative. I think that's really bullish as well, and I think we'll see significant upside from the XBorg token over the next 90 days. I think this one's going to set our portfolio up nicely, and it could be quite short-term gains. So XBorg, number 2 in the 5 top high-risk, high-reward coins. Let's have a look. Virtuals is on Binance for Terence Crawford. It's listed there. You can see it. So, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, if you do go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and just go to the market section, it tells you where you can buy the token and what currency you need. So Virtuals is listed twice on Binance, actually, Terence. USDT, USDC, you can get it on Uniswap, you can get it on Bybit, OKX, BitGet, or KuCoin as well. This is always good as well. This is a good tip for anyone that wants to see the liquidity. So the depth is really key. So the higher the depth, that means the price is not going to move as much with buying and selling, because obviously the big danger is if you place a large sell order, if there's not enough liquidity, the price is going to move and you won't actually achieve the sales price you think you'll get. So the liquidity is quite important to check as well. So we've got Virtuals and we have XBorg. Let's have a look in the chat. Let's see what everyone's saying. Crypto, I've been buying Borg and Borgy like mad. Nice. Staking's good as well. Yeah. All right. Next up, we will do another one that people have heard of, and that's Opulus. So let me pull up Opulus. So for anyone that's been around for a while, we've been super bullish on Opulus for a while. January 2023, I think we released it to members. We said we think it can do 100x back at the time, which was $4, I believe. So again, this is one that I wasn't necessarily going to include because we've spoke about it before. But for me, the Opulus price right now, under 2 cents, is an absolute bargain. I think there's a few reasons why we are so bullish on Opulus, and we'll cover them shortly. But right now, the market cap, unlocked market cap's $8.5 million. They've got 12,500 holders, which is really strong distribution as well. But ultimately, the token price has been absolutely destroyed, down 74% in 12 months. You can see this chart is just insane. And for me, Opulus definitely, from now at least, has 100x potential. I still think it can get up to that kind of $4 area. And for me, I think Opulus is probably the one that has the highest upside potential. And I'm super bullish on Opulus. So some of the reasons I'm bullish on Opulus is the price chart just looks like it's been absolutely destroyed. I think buying at these lows is a no-brainer, and you can scoop up quite a decent amount. It's already got major listings, so it's already on Gate, KuCoin, Mexi, and then you can buy it on some Dexes, but I'd probably buy it on KuCoin if I'm honest, or Uniswap. They have the best liquidity. On top of that, Opulus is tokenizing music for artists. But they've also got a new project coming, which is Whippet. So Whippet is in the beta stage right now, and basically what Whippet does is it allows you to create content across multiple social medias, TikTok, Instagram, and actually do it automated. So it can learn from your social content, it can mimic your social media content, and it can make posts and reels and TikTok videos for you and then post them. So it automates everything for you. On top of that, one of the reasons we've always been bullish for Opulus is I think music rights and NFTs is going to be a massive thing long term as we get more deep fakes and we get more AI replicas. I'm not sure if anyone saw, but there's an artist on YouTube called Shifty Brent, and it's basically an AI generated music, but it takes old school rap like Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, The Game, and it puts it through AI and it spits out like 50s and 60s Motown style 50 Cent and Dr. Dre songs. It's absolutely amazing. But what that means is there's going to be loads of fake music coming out via AI, and the replicas are unbelievable. And something like Opulus ensures that content creators get paid, but it also means that you can benefit from AI music, you can benefit from normal music by owning a part of it. It's real world assets on the blockchain, and it's designed for music creators. And I think there's so much hype around RWAs that Opulus just makes total sense. At the same time, they're a super active team. They're always putting out content, they're always developing, they're always bringing new products to market, they're always improving the AI side of their business. And for me, Opulus is just one of those projects that right now is just kind of going under the shadows, under the radar, and eventually they'll garner the attention they deserve, and I think Opulus will absolutely fly. On top of that, for me, there's zero sell pressure in the chart. Anyone that wanted to sell during the unlocks is already out, and that just means that the upside potential for something like Opulus is huge. If you scroll through their Twitter, they've got so many announcements. They've got staking as well, which earns up to 10%. They've already got real music catalogs on the platform, but I do think this Whippet, I think I can open it as well. I tried to go on it earlier. So yeah, you can already see AI creates content in minutes, automated posting, posts match your unique voice, so it actually learns from what you normally post, and it just allows music artists to create more of their own actual music and not worry about gaining attention and gaining social media traction. So I think it's going to be very bullish for artists, and again, it's another revenue generating monetization model that's going to help the token long term. And there's the revenue model, $9.99 a month. One of the biggest themes of the next bull run and bear market is going to be tokens that have a real business will survive. So I've said it for a while, I believe the next bear market is going to be a massive cleanse of the crypto space, and all these tokens that don't actually have a business, i.e. take away the token and they would collapse and they wouldn't have any way to pay their staff, they wouldn't have any new products coming out, they'll be the biggest failures of the next bear market. So I think when you see a good product that has a revenue model and users, that's the key components of a successful token that will last through the next bear market. So I'm super bullish on Opulus. I think under 2 cents is just an absolute bargain. I don't see it staying here for too long, and I do think we will see potentially 100x from that 4 cents. So I think $4 is still an ambitious target. It's probably not something I'm going to hold out for, but to achieve a 20x in our portfolio, if Opulus even gets up to $2, that'll more than do for my portfolio for this. And if we get 100x from this, we then don't need massive returns from some of the other tokens. So I think Opulus could carry this portfolio. I think Xborg 10x, Virtuals 10x. The other two coins I think I'm pretty positive about, but I think Opulus will probably return the most multiple gains from each of the 5 tokens. So yeah, Opulus, really bullish on it. There's where you can buy it. We've been bullish on it for so long as well. It doesn't seem like too big a surprise that it's included. You can get all the token unlock details and everything behind the Opulus token on CoinMarketCap. The good thing is, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but if this is accurate, it means that the majority of the supply or all the unlocks are already done for Opulus, which basically means that there's no new sell pressure going to come into the chart. Some of these tokens, especially some of the new tokens that have been launched, like World Libertify and Aster and things like that, they have massive concentrated token allocations. So you just need to be careful, because every month you're going to get massive unlocks that could dump the price. Yeah, Shiv, seriously, I know I keep banging on. I'm actually thinking about doing more AI content, probably separate to these streams. because if you go back in CC Pro, you'll see about a year ago I was calling AI a bubble. But the more I research, the more I listen to things, the more I watch things, the more I read things. AI is not a bubble in my opinion. AI is literally coming for everybody's job, lunch, whatever you want to call it. And I never ever thought I would listen to AI generated music. I thought it would be so obvious it was AI generated. But if somebody goes and searches for Shifty Brent, listens to some of the 50 Cent stuff, it is incredible. And it's just the start. Think how much these AI programs are going to develop. We're just at the start of AI. The content creation, the video creation, they're just going to improve so much over the next few years that I think it's going to be insane for the market, and I think crypto will do very well from it. Yeah, Shiv, I actually do know roughly how, but I've not done it myself, so Shiv, if you're in CC Pro, DM me. If not, we'll chat somehow. Alright, we have covered 3 coins. So we have covered Opulus, we've covered Virtual's protocol, we've covered Xborg, and we now have 2 altcoins to cover. The next one is one we've not covered in CC Pro much at all. Various reasons, and it's not a small market cap coin like Opulus is, 8.5 million, even Xborg right now. But the fourth coin in our list is Peak. Now, a lot of people might not know about Peak or what Peak is, but Peak is basically what runs the BloFin network. Peak is a massive project, and it's just had some really big news from Dubai. So for us, we have picked Peak as one of our top 5 high-risk coins with huge upside potential. And the reason I think it's got huge upside potential is, well, one, in the past, it has traded up at, I think it went up, it went up almost 70 cents. So that would be a 10x from where we are right now. But BloFin back in November wasn't a huge narrative. BloFin hasn't had a big run. It's not had its narrative time yet. But I do think it's coming, and I think Peak will be massive for our portfolio, and I think it'll do really well. Again, it has some element of AI through it, so it does have some exposure to AI. But the big news dropping for the Peak network this week was that they've just signed an agreement with VARA, which is the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority in Dubai. And that basically means that the Peak network now has authority over machines and robotics and AI in Dubai. And if you see Simon here, he's pretty big in the BloFin and robotics space. He basically says this is a massive stamp of approval and serious credibility boost for Peak. It also says that it basically gates Dubai, so Peak's going to be the preferred choice of partners for robotics and machines in the UAE. It also means government recognition of machines on chain as a new asset class. So think robo-taxis. I think they're going to launch robo-helicopters and drone helicopters in Dubai soon. The Peak price is absolutely crushed right now as well, right at the bottom. But if you read some of the stuff that's going on with Peak, it's huge. And it's going to have a massive impact on how robotics come on chain. Again, another part of the market that's massively under-addressed. As you can see, Peak is a layer 1 blockchain powering the machine economy. It's designed to power BloFin networks, so decentralized physical infrastructure networks, and billions of devices, robots, and vehicles that run on them. This has huge implications for AI. This is robo-taxis, this is robotics in the workplace, this is robotics in your home, this is decentralized devices like air quality sensors, motion sensors that send information back to a centralized unit. This is for anyone that's taken part in the Node Web sale and CC Pro Alpha. This would fall into this. But the fact that they've signed an agreement with Dubai, who have also authorized some big things with machine learning and robo-taxis in the last few days, I think this is going to be huge. I think it gives it credibility, but I also think Peak has huge growth. Robotics is going to be a massive narrative next year. We saw Elon Musk release Optimus and talk about Optimus replacing people in the workplace. Amazon's talked about replacing its warehouse staff with robots. They're all going to be running on chain, and something like Peak Network is going to do huge volume because of it. So yeah, Peak Network is massive. It's a huge sector of crypto, and I think it would be silly not to have exposure to it. And again, the reason I like something like Peak is it means that rather than trying to pick a AI or a robotic exposed coin, you pick Peak and then you get exposure to the entire space, the entire sector of the market. So for me, that's why I like it. That's why I think it's got huge gains. And again, this could do 10x. Combine that with everything else in the portfolio, and I'm feeling pretty strong about that. I think a lot of members in CC Pro have spoke about Peak before. Maybe they've bought it, maybe they've still got some. I think it's going to have a huge run, and I think we'll see a lot more out of this news from Dubai, especially the fact that they've created their own authority, as always, kind of leading the way, and then Peak to be part of it makes a lot of sense. Let's jump in the chat. Talking about Optimus. Agent Orange says most people talk about an AI bubble are probably referring to the circular investments that are happening, which is a valid concern. Yeah, it isn't. It isn't. The circular investments I get as a concern, but I think long term. I think the problem is right now a lot of these AI and robotics companies aren't generating revenue. As soon as that switch flicks and they start generating revenue, I believe that there's going to be plenty finance for all this capex expenditure in AI. Plus, when you've got other governments starting to get involved, that's when you know it's probably less like a bubble. I'll drop this tweet in CC Pro when I do the project update for Peak as well, because it's massive. You can see a lot of people commenting as well. All right, the last token, and one I am super bullish about. Having spoke to the team recently, and the price is crushed. It's done really well for us in the past. I believe it's going to have a huge bull run. And the last, or the fifth and final token in the CC Pro top 5 high-risk coins is LimeWire. So the reason I've chose LimeWire is 2 reasons. One, it has exposure to AI. It has exposure to the RWA space and content creation space. It offers staking, and it has also performed very well without being in a proper bull market. So that price history is a good indicator of where it can go again. Apart from Filecoin, I actually don't know many projects try to do what LimeWire is doing either. So it sets itself separate from a lot of other projects. I also think LimeWire's got the brand recognition. We've spoke about this before. People know LimeWire from its previous existence. It is a file sharing platform. It has huge upside potential, and I think this is going to go with Opulus and be one of the top gainers in our portfolio. If we look at the all-time chart, I can actually pull it up on TradingView because it's easier because I've got it here. You can see we previously took part in the seed round phase for LimeWire, the sale. I think it was like 8 cents or something like that. So we done pretty well out of it when it ran up to 180. Obviously, it's down now, sub 10 cents. It's at 5.5 cents today. So I think this could do 20x easy. That would take it to 110. I think it goes way beyond all-time high. So could we see it up around 250, something like that? Definitely. For me, I am massively bullish on the price appreciation from LimeWire in the coming months. Now, to get to some of their updates, they've actually got some big updates, but just to show you why I'm so bullish, they actually have quite a lot of their supply staked. 23 million LimeWire staked, offering a dynamic 21% APY. On top of that, they have just partnered with Blocknode. So they're going to offer decentralized storage and decentralized file sharing using the blockchain for enterprise customers starting in January. That's going to generate a lot of volume for LimeWire. It also generates a lot of buy volume for the token, and it's going to increase those staking returns. I actually do have another update, but I only got sent it just before we came live. So let me just pull it up. Once again, LimeWire has... Sorry, Jamebod, 2.5k of Opulus. Yeah. So once again, LimeWire is a file sharing platform. It also offers subscriptions for AI credits for creating content. You can also use their studio to edit music, produce music. So again, that AI narrative. The file sharing, they've completed over 1 million files shared. They've got 1 million monthly active users. And this Blocknode is a massive acquisition because it opens them up to businesses. So they can now do file sharing for businesses. It's secure. It's on-chain. So it's obviously recorded. And the biggest thing is, in a world of deep fakes and fake files, people trying to hack into different systems, this just makes it more secure. So yeah, the Blocknode partnership is going to be huge. And for me, I'm really excited to see what LimeWire can do. Now, this is the bit that kind of convinced me this should go in our top 5, is they also now have a burn mechanism. So they've already burned 37% of total supply. So they've already taken, I think it's about 300 million tokens out of supply. Now, for me, that is massively bullish for price long term. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, so this used to be 1 billion. It's now down to 633 million tokens. So for me, that's just hugely bullish. They're going to increase supply with these partnerships with businesses, and they're reducing. Sorry, they're going to increase demand with these partnerships, and they're going to reduce supply by these burns. On top of that, most of their tokens are in supply. They've not got any big unlocks coming, and of course they're listed on all major exchanges. So for me, LimeWire is the one that I see as having, on par with Opulus, as huge upside potential. I think in the next couple of months we'll see big updates from LimeWire, and they're also chasing some other exchange listings. So as they come into effect, I do think that will impact the price as well. So, for me, LimeWire, Opulus, they're the ones that will probably do the biggest gains in our portfolio. Then you've got Xborg. I think it can easily do a 10x. You've got Peak and Virtuals, which are slightly more unknown about what they can get to because they're slightly higher market caps. But for me, this gives us a portfolio which is balanced. It gives us AI exposure. It gives us exposure to DeepIn and robotics. And it gives us huge upside with some tokens that are massively undervalued. And if you look at the LimeWire chart right now, if it's not bottomed now, it's not got much further to fall. And that means that we have huge upside potential. I also think right now, the best time to buy, because the market's got extreme fear. Everybody's bored, everybody's frustrated with the market. And that normally means that we're close to a reversal. So, like I said at the start, we've put 5k into each of these tokens. I believe in the next few months, we will see that grow quite considerably. We might rebalance it, or we might just leave it. But for right now, I think there's probably not a better time to buy these tokens. And I mean, if you look at the weekly, this is the weekly chart for LimeWire. It's got huge upside potential. If we go to here, that's a 33x just to go back to the all-time high, which was April 2024. So that was before we even got Trump elected. We got ETFs, we got regulatory clarity, we got bullish news out the US, and we've not even got extra liquidity. Bear in mind, during this period, we were still hiking rates and we had no QE on the horizon. Right now, we've got QE coming, we've got rate cuts, we've got ETFs, and we've got regulation getting passed in the States. So for me, I think LimeWire can probably do above $2. So from here, that would be a 40x. Whether I hold out for that, I'm not sure. But it's certainly possible in the coming bull run. And remember, all we're looking for is a 20x in this portfolio. I think Opulus and LimeWire will lead. Xborg has got that massive buying campaign kicking off. It's got the Hyperliquid announcement. You've got Peak with their new announcement with UAE and Dubai. And you've got Virtuals, which is going to give us huge AI agent exposure. So that's the 5. We have, let me see if I can pull it up. We've got them in here. LimeWire, Peak, Opulus, Xborg, and Virtuals. Let's see how they do. We will provide regular updates on performance of each coin, if we're rebalancing them, if we're adding anything in, if we're taking anything out. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with LimeWire and Xborg over the next couple of weeks. The rest we'll just let run. But I think they'll have the quickest gains because of the announcements they've got coming in the next month or so. Opulus you can buy on KuCoin or Mexi, but I would buy KuCoin. I would stay away from Mexi, which we'll cover in another stream. Just before we go, somebody asked about Alvara. Yes, I'm massively confident on Alvara, but I felt like we've spoke about Alvara to death, and we took part so heavy in the seed round that it didn't feel like we should be buying anymore right now. But I would happily buy more Alvara right now at the price it is. I just didn't want to include it in this because we've included it in so many other kind of features and things we've done. So that's the only reason Alvara's not in here. Otherwise, it probably could be. Christina, no, we don't. So that is our top 5 high risk. If you want to follow along, you can buy, I think, all of them on KuCoin, apart from Xborg, which you'll need to do on Swissborg. So I think you can get them all on KuCoin, which is pretty good. That makes life quite easy. And yeah, I would try and not use Mexi. By the way, I only bought this before we came on, so yeah, these aren't massive changes. But yeah, let's see how we get on over the next few weeks. We will provide updates. Let me know in the comments what you think of our portfolio, what you would add, what you wouldn't add, what you would have chopped out, and let me know who's following along. If you are following along, which one is your favorite? Which one do you think is going to make the biggest gains? I think LimeWire will make the biggest gains in the short term, and then I think Opulus will make the biggest gains in the long term. So yeah, very bullish. And that is all for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will be back with more content in the coming week. Hopefully we're going to get the US shutdown over and we're going to see the altcoin market fly. Until then, I will see you all very soon. Catch you.